Okay, this is video number 6 for this model, and we're getting there, I think. Now we're going to start. The first thing I'm going to do is just let's. Okay, it looked a little slow here. First thing we'll do is work with this page. Okay, we have a couple of things to do. We made a sensitivity page, a sensitivity run. And in our sensitivity run, we try to get the best of both worlds. So we have to copy this. Okay. Where do we go? Well, with the capacity factor, we won't do that either. I'm not sure we'll do that with this one. Okay, Shift Control C, we better do that. Okay, ooh, that's another good Shift Control C, okay. And we're going to make a tornado diagram out of this. We have to put some additional IRRs in here and a few other things. I suppose we could even put I think we should also put Shift space bar, and let's put the debt leverage. And then let's see what happens to our DSCR as well. Okay. Can we do that a little bit? Okay, let's do that. Would be bad to do it just in one thing. Okay, so let's, I think, I'll put the DSCR here. You could, of course, put the LLCR. You could put any of these things here, and this is the scenario number. Okay, so we'll work with this. I think this format control works. Yes, good. Okay, and just to let you know what the most exciting thing, I could hardly sleep last night thinking about how exciting this will be. So, we'll put some different cases in, especially with different O&M costs, and we'll be able to put all of those into our base case and see kind of what's happening, and then we'll put over here the capacity factor and the O&M costs. Okay, capacity factor year 4 or something. We can put a levelized cost in here. Okay, and then we'll put our little spinner boxes that we just made for our sensitivity case, and so this could be sensitivity. And so this case would only work if we are on the sensitivity case right here. Then we can push these up and push this down. I don't know what happened just now to our audit. Uh-oh. Shit. I didn't have this. Okay. Oh no. This was our wonderful why didn't the sensitivity... the debt resolve isn't working in a couple of cases. It should be working. That's what we spent an hour and a half on. Oh god, I'll look at that later. Okay, the main thing is going to be really to work on our O&M costs. Okay, I'm not going to waste your time looking at that. Okay, so that's the second thing. And then let's just quickly press Shift F11, and let's make this our operating assumptions. And then how about we press Shift F11 again and make this our financing assumptions. So now it's kind of looking like a more realistic model. So what I would do is not switch all these assumptions around until you're into the very end of the project. Okay, and we'll go through the taxes and depreciation rate. How about we'll press Control X and then put that into our operation assumptions. Now when you do that, it doesn't, you have to go backwards because you press Control X. If you have to press Control C, and then you can go edit and paste special as column widths. Okay. I have to go here. Okay. Alright. And we don't want to use that one anyway, so we can kind of see what all of our assumptions are. Is this in a small, is this in old Excel? No, it is. Really? Okay. And maybe that's why I was having such horrible times with some of our issues. Okay. And there, you know, what we're going to do is work with these O&M costs. And I think we kept the O&M cost. Let's be more detailed around your 3, 4, 5. Okay, and we'll keep these O&M costs as 0 for at least the first 5 years. That's when we had our real problems. Okay, and what we need to do is then some goal seeks. Once we get this up, we have to do some kind, I don't know, you could probably do something really, really fancy, but we'll do some manual analysis. And I think the good idea to do here is to put a project pre-tax IRR. Okay, and okay, and maybe project, what happened to the T, and project after tax. Tax IRR. We have to get that from our working page. Okay, there it is. So what we'll do is we'll keep the oops, why did I do that? Okay, we'll keep the IRRs in sight when we kind of sculpt it's what we're really doing is sculpting the O&M costs. And it's probably what we will need to do is put some goal seeks here. So let's copy this into this one, and we can work with our different scenarios. Okay, you know, I think if we keep these the same, essentially what we're having is the O&M company finance and do some of the sculpting for us. Now here's the big problem. Diego should understand this. He does. The problem is the cost of capital for this is a whole lot higher if you have the O&M company do it than if you had BNDES do it. So that's the real issue through not allowing the sculpting. And the other thing is you probably can't get them to go far enough. So we're going to put this in. Now, you remember that if we go to the add-ins here, we don't have anything. So what we need to do is open the file called generic macros, and we go to the developer tab and go to the macros, and it says implement macros, and you run. Now when we do that, we get this. See, this doesn't work. This is silly. Okay. In fact, I think what we probably should do is copy this graph into our when we start looking at the O&M costs, we can kind of see we want to smooth this out, and we want this to go down. That's what you really want, is this to go down, and at the same time you want the IRRs to be about the same. So that's how you really, if you could negotiate really well with these people, that's what you do. They're probably really difficult to negotiate with. And then what we can do there is go through, and it goes through each sheet and shows when we took these inputs from the you know what I mean, from the scenario page. Now what we might want to do is put a tab color on this sheet. I don't know what color. How about this one? Okay, and what that will mean is the and I'm going to do the same one here, and what that means is that when we look in this model, whenever we take something from the assumption sheet, we'll have this kind of orange color. Now something happened here, something really bad. We obviously have some kind of spinner box or something we haven't really worked with. We'll put it here just in case. Okay, why is that? I thought yesterday it was not doing this. Huh, okay. Maybe I'm imagining things. I know I'm not imagining that. So let's press Shift down arrow, and we'll delete all those blank lines. Okay, so now our model is looking a whole lot more manageable. Okay, and then let's put the all of these things, let's put those up to here, perhaps here, and then we have to do the same thing. Copy this, edit paste special as W. I think that would do it. Okay, let's put this a little smaller so we can see all of our assumptions, and save that. Okay, and then we can control minus this, right? And we have this now. Should we go one step further? I was going to go one step further and put the project financing in one sheet and the operations in another sheet. That might be worth it. Okay, so what we really want to do is stop here as soon as we get the sources and uses statement. This is where we make our project financing. Why don't we try that? Before I do this, I'm going to save this because perhaps we want to change our mind. Shift F. I'm glad I did that. Damn thing! I was wondering, but when we were going to get this crap. Ugh. No, that was so frustrating. After you do all this work, to think your file might be somehow corrupted, you could go crazy, couldn't you? I think you could go completely crazy. Now I think the problem was seems to be when the size changes, and then you try to save the file after the size change. So I kind of like the small size so I can see what's happening, but apparently we're not allowed to do that. Stupid thing. So we're going to put our operations in one page and our financing in another. So let's press Shift F11 and see if we break the file now. So then let's put our project financing, and let's make our project financing completely separate from from this. And then the only problem with this one is we're going to have to we're going to put the years and the dates in this one. Okay. Okay, I think it's not that big a deal. Okay. It's going slowly now. Okay, and let's put this. You can. Can you feel my nervousness? Now, okay, copy this and edit paste special as column width. And why don't we okay, so this is our model for EBITDA, and then we'll have our model for project finance. Okay, the EBITDA really has that. It just, so I think that isn't that a good way to really hone in the fact that now let's just put this one Shift Control R, Shift Control right arrow Control R, Shift Control 3, and then Shift Control right arrow Control down Control D. Okay, so now we have our and let's be very careful here. Okay. Okay, and then we just put this in, and now we have a cleaner model. I'm gonna. Okay. Now. Okay, we can we can really see all of our assumptions now. Okay, I think that's we're ready to go. Okay, now I'm going to test this out. I'll probably turn it off. What happened to our, see, this is just so frustrating. If I make it larger, I can see the thing, and then I make it larger and smaller, and I don't do that. And you know, let's do this. We said we were going to do the same thing for our. Okay, and perhaps we'll press Shift Control P here. And since I had all those problems, I didn't reread the generic macros. I don't think generic macros are the culprit here. You can think they are, maybe they are, but it seems to be this thing where we change the size of the file, and this was some kind of special BNDES file. That's what we started with, some kind of structure. Okay, maybe there's something, I'm sure, I don't know what, I'm sure it's doing something real fancy. So now we can put this in, and now the project IRRs aren't changing, but when we change the DSCR, okay, and now we could see the DSCR in each different scenario. So let's put the after-tax IRR here, and let's put the equity IRR, and why don't we use the one after the with the bridge loan? Okay, great. I'm not going to think about this, but this bridge loan seemed to be a negative, had a negative effect on the IRR. We'd have to look and see if I made some kind of mistake. And then remember what we do. We can't do this. We shift control right arrow, shift control down arrow, and go to data, what if analysis, and then data table, and we leave the row input out, and we just put the column input in here, okay? And then what you have to do is press the Shift F9 key, or better yet, make a little macro, okay, and we can, okay, and we can put this to calc. So if we want to calculate this, now you could attach this to this one and see what happens to the okay, so if we change this one, okay, now what that means, it's going to recalculate the data table, and the DSCR should be Shift Control 1. You know, I press Shift alternate right arrow to oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Shift Control P, and if we want, we can on this one put a simple conditional formatting and highlight cell rules, and whenever it's less than 1, and I think I like a better red, don't you? Phil, let's put this red in. And how about for the font? Oh, that's the font we did. Okay. I guess that's okay. So we see exactly now, if we put this down, you could see which cases it's above 1 for. Okay, so that's the idea of this. Okay, now we might want to have a I think we could put this. Oh, I'm not going to do that right now. We could put base O&M cost and see what happens to these things. Notice that we have the same assumptions, but when we use the alternative O&M cost, we still get a much higher DSCR. Okay, that's the kind of idea. And then of course you can change the price. Okay. Oh, come on. Uh-oh, it looks like is that just and then we're we're just doing the active sheet, so that's very good. Okay, and then we're just about ready to with our kind of new sheet. Okay, and on this one, let's do the same thing. So when these things come from the assumption sheet, you can see that they come from that other sheet color, and this better be gee, this should be from the operating assumptions. That's really bad. Okay. Okay, and this was this problem. Now let's press Shift Control C, so we see exactly what's an input first, and then we go to our add-ins. Oh, and we still, I thought we had the, apparently I added this generic macro, but again you have to run the, okay, and okay, so let's go to our add-ins and push this one. Now if this takes a little while, I'm gonna switch it off. It should take not much time. Okay, so now you can see which things came from the other sheet. Okay, I don't like this. I hope you don't get mad at me. Okay, now we're getting ready to do the exciting part, which was Tiego's analysis of this, but let's just do one more thing. Okay, I'm gonna make this one, let's make this tab color some kind of dark blue. Okay, now they're going to be kind of two blues, but you will be able to see which one comes from the blue sheet, and you know that you get the idea. Now I'm gonna, because this might take a second, I'm gonna, okay, I think that was pretty cool, wasn't it? So oh, this didn't know what to do because it had this. This is still okay, and I think we're okay. So some of the numbers, when they're blue, they come from the other sheet, and when they're orange, they come from the orange sheets. Okay. And you remember when we changed some of these, okay, I'm going to copy this, okay, I think we should put it here, we can, and we really should also put the model audit here. It says debt resolve, and I didn't see a big problem with a debt resolve, so we might have, the good news is we might have just a problem with put with that. So you know, this audit test really should be in every single sheet. Okay, and okay. And this was Project Finance L13, so I guess we'll look at that, and just give me a little minute here. Okay, what did I just do? Oh, I checked there was no real problem. There was just a rounding difference, so in this round I just had to change the test. Okay, so if we let's see if I was lying to you. Okay, we right click and copy this. Okay, and we can put this little thing up here, and we can just go down to the different things. Okay, you can see, isn't it nice when you don't have to put any kind of any kind of what was I going to say, any kind of goal seek macro or anything like that. Okay, so just okay, now let's do this. Let's get this tornado diagram out of the way. We have these transpose things are wrong. Well, no, they're not actually. This was for our capacity factor. Oh no! Looks like we might have an error. That's why we'll do that. So we have we only have really 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to do the O&M cost even. We could do that a different way, but with a little 100% factor or something. So, oops. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, you know. Okay. Oh shit. Equal transpose. Okay, and then we just go up and get the things, our few different little factors, and let's put high versus base and low versus base. And how about adding a line, and let's put, okay, let's get the equity IR. How's that? Okay. And all we have to do, remember what we're doing, so this is our high case. So in our high case, we didn't even lower the cost in the high case. This is bad. The high case shouldn't have a higher cost than the low case, but we'll fix that. Okay. And we'll always compare that to our base case up here. But when we do that, we'll press the F4. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing with the low case. So we go to the low case scenarios, and there's something wrong with this. Okay, and we put a minus and go to the base case, press F4, so now, I think I can see what happened. This one, we have to, when it's the high case, we have to move this, and then we can press Shift Control R and Control D. Actually, let's do it like Felipe, so F2, Control Enter. Now when you do that, it puts a little, oh, no, it didn't work. Oh well. Control R, Control D. Oops! Well, what happened to this thing? Well, I think it did work. Shift control the little thing, shift control the little thing, shift control the little thing, shift control the little thing. And let's, make this one some kind of bold and maybe fill it with a yellow just so we realize that this is really what's driving the model. And we need to let's do it with this. We need to recalculate the sheet. I hope it didn't recalculate. What in the hell just happened? Maybe I didn't press it properly. This is just doing this sheet. Okay. And we have a problem with the life and the construction period and all of this, so either I didn't copy it correctly, and let's just remember what we did here. Okay, it's supposed to give us, if we go to the Home tab and you go to Conditional Formatting and you go to New Rule, and then once you go to New Rule you put a formula in here, and you always start with the one right at the end and press F4 to get rid of that, and let's put an equal sign and just click on this one and press F4 just so we get this one, and format that with a fill of a font. Let's put a font, come on, and let's put a color of some kind of green. Okay. So we didn't change it in the high case. Now, let's see, so why didn't that work? Okay, do I have a problem with the formula? C8, C10. Okay, Control R and Control D. Okay, and now it worked a little bit, except on this one. Why did this one not work? 15 was the base case. I think the high case is the same as the base case. Let's make this 24 anyway. Oh, if it's the same as the high case, well, that's why it did. Okay, my bad. Okay, and then we need to go to our, just calculate the sheet, and these are all positives, so the capacity factor was the biggest thing that made the difference, which of course should be the case. So then you just select this and press F11, and then you change the chart type, and you make it a bar on this one. Let's put OK, and call this our tornado chart. No, okay, that's enough. I'm sick of this. Let's put this kind of after our annual presentation. So this is our okay. And if remember, I'm going to try something, and I'm probably going to break the whole model right now. Okay, and let's save this. Oops, I just canceled when I saved it. Okay, now if you would like to put a this one up here, so this is a, oh, I should have put the equity IRR 0. This is a tornado. And then we'll put a build-up chart or a waterfall chart. Now, why don't I take the base case, and we'll just take these increments with versus the base case. Now, this isn't exactly right, okay, because there's some interactions, but we can do it anyway. So just put, why did I just do this? Control D, and then we'll call this the upside case. Now, what you want to do, okay, if we, oh, come on, maybe we should put Alt W FF, okay. Maybe we should, if you change something, like change the price, okay, and this is maybe taking too long when we change it. Look at, why isn't that changing? Uh-oh, this, why in the hell isn't that changing? What's going on with this one, right? Oh, great. Stupid thing. And format control. See, this is what you exactly do not want to do. Oh, God. Everything has to come from this one, okay? I guess I'm glad we did that. And when we go to this model EBITDA one, well, this one, of course, has to come from the operating assumptions page, you know? And maybe that's a bad thing about having a range name. Okay, so if we now push this down, what? Okay, so okay, we're going to now do a, we have the tornado diagram done. Okay. And yeah, there's a downside and upside from our various factors. And let's, oh, okay, maybe we should put it back to the base case. Okay, and now let's put a waterfall diagram here. Okay, so I have some other stuff open. I go to courses, chapter 1, folder 6, waterfall graph. We open the waterfall graph. I'm a little bit afraid that this might not work here. And then we select this, shift control V, and okay, blue, but let's make it a percentage. We were having a problem with this with the include the grid lines. Okay, how's that? And then we click on this. And anybody who's tried this knows that it's a real pain to do this. So this shows kind of how the things step up. Now, if you wanted to do it again, shift control V, and it said use the spinner box width, no, this is factor for between a higher number. So I thought those numbers were a little far. Now that's once you do this, it you change if you change the you know the model, it'll also change this. So where did that put this? I think it puts it right at the end. Whoops. Okay. Okay, we made it. I guess I didn't delete it. Okay. So let's. You can. I forgot to tell you. So let's put this kind of near the tornado chart. Okay. Now, let's do the final thing. Well, it's not absolutely final, but close. Excuse me, I'm having some of this instant coffee to wake up. We didn't put those little things in. You know, if we... Oh, shit. If we want a sensitivity thing for the capacity factor, well, this would be... okay. Well... Oh, shoot. I don't know. I'm not going to put the cost one here. Okay, that changes this one. Now, if you want to right click, and this says D13, it should be E13. Okay. And on this one, instead of doing this, let's go to our developer tab and insert a little drop down box. Okay. But I suppose we can. Whoops. Okay. And we right click and go to format control, go to the operating assumptions, and then don't connect it to the other thing. We connect the, we want this one, but of course you have to go to another sheet, back to this sheet, and then connect this one. Now what happened here, okay, this only really works if you put the sensitivity case. Okay, but if we put the sensitivity case, we can change everything with these little things. So that means we can go to our summary thing and put our put this in, and I'm going to leave the O&M cost. Now that also means if we want this life, excuse me, we should paste this. Ah, shoot. Pasted it in the wrong place. Okay. This was this life. So now, since we're on the sensitivity case, if we want to change the life of the project, we can see how that's affecting the IRRs. Okay. And we can do the same thing for the construction period. We could copy that and put it here. Okay. And we put this up, and we can have a longer construction period and a shorter construction period. Okay, so that's it. And am I still recording? Yes. Okay, and now let's let's work on the O&M costs and then stop. Okay. When I started the first video, I said this is what we really wanted to do. Now, why don't we have this? We should copy this one to the operating assumptions. I'm surprised. Maybe I have it somewhere and I'm not seeing it. So now let's go to the base case. So how about this after tax? I'm gonna copy fixed. We'll just put a fixed and shift control P and then a difference. Okay, and let's put this minus this. Now, so what we want to do, let's, oh, see, I knew I would have had this. Okay, now, why is that a different size here? These are too big. Okay, now, what we're going to do is, so here's what the, let's cut this and put it over here. Okay, now we let's switch it from the base case to the alternative O&M case. And this alternative O&M case, we kept the O&M at 0, and then for some reason I put it up and down. That's why. So we needed to do this. Now, if we go to the alternative O&M cost, we've got too low of a number. And what happened in year 6 here? So we needed to put something like. What happened here? Oh, is this when it went up to 30? Why is this? It's not changing. Just a minute. So I've got an error here because this says we take the O&M cost is from scenario 24, and the alternative case should be 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay, I'm glad we looked at that. Okay, so if we are on case 2, we have a big decrease. We have this one, and then where does it go down? So if I put 2 here, oops, this is not having much of an effect. And then this is, let's put this as 10, and then this is 15. Okay, and this is 31. Now we've got 2, 32. I'm not even doing a Gaussian. 35. Let's put 40. Okay, so now let's look. So if we so now let's just see why this is so beneficial. If we right now if we go to the base case, Okay, now, oh, I guess we can put a little more leverage in the base case. I should be doing this with the P90 case too, I know, with this one for P90. Okay, so our IRR is 16%. Now, if I go to the alternative O&M costs, whoops, I thought just a minute. If we put the alternative O&M cost, I thought the after-tax project IRR was the same. Okay, I don't know what I just did. But the idea is now, oh, this is alternative O&M and capital cost. So we just put alternative O&M cost, and now we can push up the, come on, okay. Why, oops, finally. Okay, I was afraid we couldn't do this. Then we can keep pushing up the O&M costs till we get to, I mean the leverage, till we get to 1.2. Okay, that's the idea. So let's go back. In the base case, I think you get the idea. In the base case, we had to lower the leverage, and when we lowered the leverage, we to 1.2, whoops, we get a IRR of 16%. When we put the alternative O&M costs in, we can, if we just do that, we get 17%. But the more important thing is we can keep increasing this, and our, what was it, 16 or 17%, that becomes 18.34. Now let's go even further. Okay, and let's say we go to our EPC contractors. So I guess let's put the alternative O&M and capital cost. Now what happened here is I lowered the capital cost. Let's be really radical here. That's okay. I lowered the capital cost from 800,000 to 600,000. Now our IRR is too high, so what we're going to have to do is eventually here, and let's put 10 here. Okay, we can start to lower these. So if we could put 15 here. Is that why? Okay. Where does it really shoot up when I shoot up to 50? Let's put 20. So I don't know what 25. You see what we're trying to do? We're trying to get this down, okay, and we still have too high an IRR. We need to get this higher, so let's put 70 in O&M and 100 in O&M. Now that was too much. We couldn't do that. So, so we need to put some more over here. So let's put 20 over here and 30. Why isn't that changing? Maybe I'm... Ah, shit. Oh! 4, 5, 6. What happened? LMNOP. Okay, we need to be careful with our... Okay. So what we have some room here. We of course don't want to do this. We want to keep this to 70 or something, you know. Maybe 60. Okay. Okay, and then we still don't have enough O&M, so let's put 30 here and 40 here and 50 here and 60 here. And now we start to have it go down. Now maybe we can even, if we really got crazy, we'd want negative O&M, but that's what we're kind of doing with our, so we could put, we still need a little more. So let's say we have 10 here. So we're starting to bring it down. And I'm looking at the IRR, 25, okay, 30, how about 55, and then let's just put this as 80. See, 90. Oh, we need more here. Okay, maybe you see where we're going. 50, 60, 70, 85, 100. Okay, that was it's very hard to do. Maybe we need to change this to 650. Okay. Let's change that to 670. Okay. Now the difference is just about 0. Okay, so right now we get a 19% equity IRR, but the good news is we can keep pushing this up, and we might be pushing it up so high that we're going to get above our leverage constraint, but let's pretend we don't have a leverage constraint. So let's keep pushing it up, okay, just to illustrate the idea. And now we get a 23%. With the bridge loan, we get a 25%. Okay. Maybe that was a little bit too much, and then you can kind of do this. So that's what you really want to finally do with the model. This one didn't work again, so this one we needed to have only a gearing of 64%, so we were 16% just without the bridge loan. I'm looking at the 16% here. With the alternative O&M and capital costs, the 16% goes, we can get to 85% gearing, and that 16% gets to go to 85%. Now here's the thing I just want to tell people is 23%. So the problem is when you start negotiating with those EPC contractors, they're going to want to take a really high cost of capital. So it would be easier if BNDES would just allow sculpting, then instead of letting all those O&M contractors get a really good profit out of this, you could be giving it back to people, and you could lower the electricity price, and we'll do all of that. You can do all of that, but I think you get a little bit the idea of how to really work with the model on structuring it. Okay, and I'm just putting it back to our original case. Okay, and you know that we couldn't have done any of this without that really elaborate function and macro that took a long time to do. So that's the end of our